Mike Kelly, Republican of Pennsylvania, said 3 words that she just couldn't bear, and it was all caught on video for our viewing enjoyment.
Every day in every way. And the best way to do that is to stop talking about discrimination and start talking about the nation. We're coming together as a people in spite of what you say. Thank you, gentlemen. I yield back.
Gentleman's time has expired. Members are reminded to address their remarks to the chair. The gentleman from Texas reserves, the gentlelady from California.
Thank you very much. The gentleman, Mr. Kelly, please do not leave. Because I want you to know that I am more offended as an African-American woman than you will ever be. And this business about making America great again, it is your president that's dividing this country. And don't talk to me about the fact that we don't understand what happens on the automobile. No, I will not yield. No, I will not yield.
Okay.
Don't tell me that we don't understand. That's the attitude that's been given toward women time and time again.
The gentlelady will suspend. The chair wishes to remind all members that they are to address their remarks to the chair. Gentlelady will continue.
The chair, but don't stop me in the middle when you didn't stop him in the middle. And so I shall continue. Don't you dare talk to me like that and think that somehow women don't understand what goes on the floor of automobile dealers.
Minded to direct her remarks to the chair. The gentlelady will continue in order.
I will continue to do that. However, I don't appreciate that you did not interrupt him when he was making those outrageous remarks about him knowing more about discrimination than I know about discrimination. I resent that, and I resent the remark about making America great again. He's down here making a speech for this dishonorable president of the United States of America. Having said that, I reserve the balance of my time, and no, I do not yield not 1 second to you. Not 1 second. Not 1 second to you.
The purpose of this hearing was to review Obama-era anti-discrimination regulations for auto lenders, which Republicans and some Democrats voted to reverse. The measure, which was previously approved by the Senate, is now awaiting President Trump's signature, according to this report. There was no need for Maxine Waters to explode like she did in such dramatic fashion, but in all seriousness, at the end of the day, that is what most liberals have to resort to when they encounter a logical opponent. Well, in actuality, they just know they're losing and they're just going down the tubes. You know, as a congresswoman, Maxine Waters continues to be not just an embarrassment to the state of California, but also to our country. How can other civilian nations look at this spectacle and not wonder why people like Waters are able to weasel their way into Congress? Here is another good example of why Congress needs to have term limits. Mad Maxine Waters is strangely absent from all public appearances in what can only be described as the Congresswoman's intentionally hiding out. This has been going on for a couple of weeks now, and now we know why. A few days ago, President Donald Trump turned the tables on Wacky Waters, becoming her worst nightmare. Maxine obviously is probably scared, and she should be. Trump's caught her red-handed in a string operation, and now she's getting a dose of brutal justice. Most Americans recognize Mad Maxine Waters as the most obnoxious voice leading the Impeach 45 campaign. Wacky Waters refused to attend the inauguration for President Donald Trump, and she was already calling for impeachment on January 20th, 2017. Imagine that, calling for a president to be impeached before he's even spent one full day in the office. That's how delusional and downright obsessed this lawmaking maker is. So right away, the warning bells went off. The California congresswoman was adamant Trump colluded with Russia, and she coined the phrase the Kremlin Klan. When it became evident that the allegations against Trump were not only untrue, but that it was the president who has been set up by a cabal working in the Obama administration along with his holdovers with the FBI and DOJ, you'd think Auntie Maxine would tone it down a bit. Now for the bombshell information that is causing Maxine Waters to disappear from public view. As we laid out, Waters is in deep refusing to stop her calls for impeachment, even when other Democrats started to pull back from the bogus Trump-Russian collusion narrative in mid-November. Special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation was always a sham to cover up the biggest political scandal of modern times, and Waters is smack in the middle of it. A few days ago, Senator Dianne Feinstein released the transcripts of Fusion GPS CEO Glenn Simpson's testimony before the Senate Intelligence Committee. Why? She's scared. Feinstein knows it's only a matter of time before the entire fake Mueller investigation and the Obama cabal is fully exposed. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, they're just stalling. They need some time, and that's what they've been doing with this Russian collusion narrative for over a year. They don't know anything else that they can do. Immediately after Feinstein released those documents, Trump's attorneys filed a defamation lawsuit against Fusion GPS. In case you missed it, Fusion GPS is the firm that Hillary Clinton and their campaign hired to dig up opposition research on President Trump. They compiled the infamous Russian dossier, also referred to as the Steele dossier. They also worked in collusion with Barack Obama's cabal to spy on Donald Trump. Fox News reports that Michael Cohen, one of President Trump's personal attorneys, filed a defamation action last month as against BuzzFeed News as well, and his editor-in-chief over allegations about him, and were published in the now infamous Trump-Russia dossier compiled by a former British spy. So what does this have to do with Maxine Waters? Everything. Let's back up and review. What politician has been quoting directly from the bogus Russian dossier, presenting it as fact and smearing Donald Trump's name? Yep, good old Auntie Maxine. Now, Trump's attorney, Michael Cohen, is filing on behalf of himself, but it's a legal maneuver. It forces Fusion GPS to lay open all their stories, and they're not protected as classified because they aren't even part of the government. I'm betting Mad Maxine has shut her trap and is hiding out for the same reason that Dianne Feinstein made the Fusion GPS testimony public. They see what is coming, and it's not good. For Auntie Maxine, it may lead to potential criminal charges. Why? Well, remember Obama's cabal of rogue FBI and DOJ personnel, including James Comey, Loretta Lynch, Sally Yates, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, Bruce Orr, and Andy McCabe, just to name a few, were spying on then-candidate Donald Trump and his campaign. Now guess which Obama insider knew all about Barack's rogue collection of data on U.S. citizens, also known as illegal spying? Yes, Maxine Waters. Let's go to 2013 when Mad Max was in an interview with Roland Martin, and he talked about the Democrats might be in trouble come 2016. Martin also stated, but it is also represented the countdown of the end of his or Obama's presidency. The reality is, like anything else, you better get what you can while he's there, because look, come 2016, that's it. And Waters replies, the thing I think some people are missing here is the president has put in place an organization that contains the kind of database that no one has ever seen before in life. That's going to be very, very powerful. Waters continued by stating that database will have information about everything on every individual in ways that it's never been done before. That sounds like communist China to me. And that shocking statement made clear back in 2013 is now going to haunt her. The Obama cabal, FBI, and DOJ traitors wiretapped Donald Trump by utilizing that database, collecting data on U.S. citizens, but what they did when it came to President Trump was unmask those private communications, illegally unmasking Trump and his campaign people. It's no wonder Mad Maxine was all in as the lead big mouth pushing this bogus conspiracy. She had the inside information on Barack Obama's powerful database and was sure they would never be caught. Exactly how much Mad Maxine knew, we have no idea. But there is no doubt she was part of Obama's cabal from the very beginning. And the end game was a constitutional crisis that would have burned this country down. So, say goodbye to Mad Maxine Waters. She really is living it up with her nickname, Poverty Pimp, and circling the swamp drain. And it's really sad, ladies and gentlemen, because she should be taking care of her district and doing everything she can to help the people in her district. And if you see that portion of Los Angeles or Southern California, may it be,